This is why I love Gorilla-sensei. Because he knows how to bring it home. He knows where to touch you. And this chapter just is just a tip of the iceberg of what this man is capable of doing. So in this week's chapter of Gintama, chapter 589, concludes the fight. And I couldn't be any more happier with the conclusion of it, because in particular, this chapter has really touched home for me, because I know what it's like to fight with a sibling. I have a younger sister for myself. She had a brief appearance in one of my earlier videos. I think it was back when I was doing high school star musical. She appeared in one of those videos. So this chapter in particular touched me a lot, because I know what it's like to bicker and fight with your sibling, but at the same time you can't help but love them, and there's this connection that cannot be described, not even by siblings themselves. And this chapter was just like it was just a reminder of how close siblings are, whether you're identical siblings or not. This chapter just signified what it means to have a older sibling and younger sibling in the family. So after all the sadness, the tears, the agony, and everything that's happened toward this family, it was just a matter of time for some conclusion. I mean, there would have been more tears that would have happened in order to reach this part, but I guess it was necessary, because if not, Kamui would still be the same. Kagura would still be chasing after her brother. Her father at some point would still possibly be running away from his responsibilities as being a father to these two, and trying to bring them together after the loss of their mother. And seeing that backstory and everything has happened, and seeing how Kagura had to face all of this, and not only her but Kamui, the guy who we thought from hundreds of chapters ago, who we thought was just only seeking strength for strength's sake, and now seeing his reasons for his actions, and how his actions push him over the edge and cause him to go into this frenetic frenzy, the same as we saw what happened to Kagura back in Yoshiwara and in Flames arc. It's just, it was a very spectacular part of this manga. And when you see family, as they said back in that arc, Yoshiwara, Flames and arc, you don't always have to be blood related. We've seen it, and we see in particular Gintoki, the odd jobs. They're not blood related, but they're as close as a blood related family can be. But at the same time, there's something about having relations to those who share the same DNA and genetics, that's something that cannot be replaced by people that you just meet, by different strangers and different people. So to see that these two siblings has finally realigned, it was just an amazing part. And the two parts that got to me was the part where Kagura says a big brother's fist cannot defeat a little sister. So that part was very interesting to see, because knowing as I could put myself into this chapter, because I can relate definitely with this chapter, is that being an older sibling, we're gonna fight with our little siblings regardless of whatever situation there is. But at the same time, there's something there that you cannot do to a younger sibling, let alone a younger sibling do to you, because it's because you guys have grown together for so long, and you know each other like the back of your own hand. It's you guys cannot connect those fists like you want to if it was someone else that you do not, care for, something of that sort. And the part that also touched me was the end of this chapter. The part where it says that no matter how many thousands of times he was hit, he didn't collapse. The strongest man in Harasame, our captain, this is by Alberto, him saying in his mind, he said, fell to just a single one of his sister's tears. That face was like that of a little kid that got exhausted from crying and fell asleep at his mom's knees. And he's there crying, and he just has a look of relief, because it's all the burden that was on his shoulders from all of the things that has happened towards him from so long ago has just, because of his sister was his saving grace. She brought him back, and for that I know that Kamui's eternally grateful. And this chapter, like I said, it really hit home, and it was really touching, and I could feel really connected. And I'm sure people who have siblings can understand this chapter a lot more, or even people who have someone that is like a sibling towards them, but it's not exactly a sibling, they can also understand this chapter. So, you know, keep up the good work, Gorilla-sensei. I was tearing up after reading this chapter. It was a good way to end this whole fight. If you saw this week's chapter of Gintama, tell me, what do you think of it? What were your thoughts on this conclusion of the siblings finale fight? What are your thoughts for the next chapter? Because even though this has concluded, there is something going on in the background, and possibly even worse than what has happened that we've seen for the couple of chapters that has been going on. So do tell me that in the comment section below. If the links are in the description box, so you guys can go check that out. I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial weekend as well as a Memorial Monday. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!